Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the opening night of the Swemp Electronics Football Alliance. I'm Champ Megahorse, the man with a face for radio and the voice for the mute button, and with me is the omnipresent Stephen Wright. Good evening, Steve.
Good evening, mate. You've got face for the radio, voice for the radio. I've got neither, so we'll see how we go.
Well, it's good to be finally underway with the Swemp FA. It's been about three and a half weeks in the making, and we are finally here, starting off with a nice easy round. 5 matches from the Swedish Cup, which is Division 2's cup competition. If we have a look into there, we can see the 5 fixtures that are up for today. We have got 76ers up first of all, and they're away to Eliana of non-league, who star the wonderful 15-year-old Andreas Orman. He's the only player they've got. So what a great start 76ers have got. They've looked good in testing. The Los Urracas, the Magpies, featuring a team of Newcastle-based players plus some other world stars. Then Stackington Colliery, run by a handsome Jeff Megahorse. That will be the 3rd match on. Then we've got FC Danglies, sound a bit like some sort of dirty Dutch team. They'll be looking forward to a good game there. And finally, our big match of the day, the first meeting between 2 Swemp FA sides, Radebe FC, which of course have a much better longer name, and Trumpton Vice Squad. Okay, let's go into this. So, Steve, having a look at the Dynamo 76ers setup, what are you thinking from what you can see there?
Well, for a start off, excuse me, I've ruined it already. But no, any testing. My first game out was against 76ers in my testing, and I lost 3-1, I think it was. So I changed my formation up to what I'm physically playing now, which did me all right for the rest of the season. I actually played 4 games against them, lost my first game at their place in the league. I played them in the cup and lost 1-0 away and won 2-1 at home. Oh no, I went throwing away goals anyway. They're a very strong side, but that defensive arrow coming right from Takanadi, I know a lot of people don't like it, but that when people talk about wib-wobbing and this, that, and the other, the most basic version of wib-wob is backward arrows. Because your forward arrows are with ball, your backwards arrows are without ball. That's setting up very defensively. I like the look of that team. I really do. For me, personally, the weak link there, when you're looking at, you've got Rui Costa, you've got Del Piero on the bench, and you've got Des Romadal playing in that right AM position. Maybe I'd have had one of the others in, probably maybe Rui Costa in the middle with Nick Franco running up, but it's strong regardless anyway.
Yeah, very strong, especially with the attacking options that they've got within that team, and of course Andrei Milevsky as well. Good for those defensive positions. So without further ado, quick check on their tactics. We've got an attacking lineup that they've gone for, the hard tackling approach and some short passing. Trying to run rings around this opposition, which, as we say, only have a 15-year-old playing for them, and a whole lot of wonderful grey players. Of course, for anyone who's not necessarily familiar with this league, you may see quite a few players appearing for more than one team. It's a little quirk of the league. It took about 30,000 hours to set up to clone those players, but people have basically got who they want, either as a squad of their dream players or a concept squad. Might as well head straight into that game. 76ers have requested some squad numbers, so just a quick check on here. We've got Buffon at number 1. Then also we have got Kiotis to be number 12. Not many teams are going to have full setups of team. Cafu at 2, Maldini at 3. Number 4, Cannavaro is not in the squad for today. So quick checks on others. We've got Baumer at 6. Nesta is taken number 18. Milevsky 15. Denis Romadal, 14. Nikiforenko in at number 8. Yes, he's nicely hidden in the squad list there. Rui Costa at 17. Matej Kesman, number 19. And then down this side, Takanadi, 5. Nedved is number 11. No surprises there. Riquelme at 7. Del Piero, the man with the wonderful sideburns, at number 10. And Maxim Sigalko, rest in peace, at number 9. There's absolutely no peace for him during this league, playing for as many teams as he's playing for. Okay. When the cup's taking place and there's only one team in action, we'll be playing from the view here, looking at the stats for the team. Commentary, of course, at the bottom of the screen. When there's two teams playing each other, we'll go from the player rating screen so people can keep a track of their players during the game. Okay, and here we go.
One little note that sets my... that's
Balmer already 1-0.
Number 12 for your sub-keeper. Wow. Oh, man, that's also deep.
It's a fantastic start there, isn't it, for Nedved banging in a second goal. And this could be any sort of scoreline. Of course, 6 of the best would be perfect for these at this point. But to be 3-0 up already after 23 minutes is ridiculously good, even against a non-league side for a very first match for the team. Balmer from left side of defence makes it 4-0. This could be any sort of scoreline. Coming close to half time, and it's 4-0. Nearly a penalty there as well. And half time, 4-0. Well, what do we make of that?
Well, I mean, look at the condition for a start. They've not even got
not even breaking sweat there.
One first year. I mean, it's massively strong. I mean, the one thing I will say is in practice, what have you, the games against the non-league teams are very fruitful, especially if you've got a team as strong as 76ers are. But you probably play what's in front of you, to be fair, and to have 3 sevens. I mean, you've got somebody on the 7 scoring 2 goals, which is superb in itself. And I probably fancy this to go on to be 7 or 8. I know the champ game, but when you're playing a non-league with a team as strong as that, 7 or 8 incoming without a shadow of a doubt.
Superb. I mean, when you consider the left back has scored 2 goals from 4 shots, the most prolific shooter other than Nikiforenko as well. So what a great start there. Nedved on the booking. I don't think they'll be too worried about that. Substitutes planned for 60 minutes for these. So let's get the second half going. No, I think they'll be gutted not to have scored in the opening 5 minutes of the second half. Taking it easy, foot off the gas completely, and substitution time is coming up 59. Oh, apologies for being 1 minute early there. They have plans for substituting Matej Kesman on for Maxim Sigalko, and the other substitute is Andrei Milevsky for Alessio Takinardi. Yes, decent substitutions. I mean, Sigalko, opening game, done all right. He's had a few shots, but yeah, not set the world alight, unlike Wilfried Balmer. Okay, and as we continue, see if there's some more goals in this game. But yeah, 76ers, Lazarus 76, getting a good start to his Swemp FA campaign. Chances all around, and Nedved, second goal of the game, makes it 5-0. Romadal with a chance. Into the last few minutes. Oh, and Nikiforenko nearly with another one. Well, I say another one, a first. 8 shots, 5 on target for him. But if you look at those match stats for the game, well, what can we say about that one there? 23 shots, 16 on target with nothing in response for the team, where their 15-year-old ended up with a 5. What's your thoughts, Steve?
Well, for the first, I wanted to ask at half time, what position did the 15-year-old play in for a start? If they were playing right wing and Baumer's,
He ended up
I
taking that position just there. I mean, the female singer there, Björk, playing there on the right hand side, coming on, countered Baumer pretty well towards the end. But yeah, with Orman just inside in the midfield there. Really, I mean, the goalkeeper's done all right. Say he's only conceded 5 out of 16 shots on target. So,
well, for the keeper to get a 7, conceding 5, with having 16 on target, I think he deserves a little bit more than a 7, really. I mean, obviously, I know post, bar, etc. I mean, it's solid as you'd expect from a team at that standard, and stand up in good stead going forward in Restic Cup and probably towards into the league as well.
yeah, can't go wrong with a 5-0 win for your opening game. Good confidence boost. Might have only been 1 goal in the second half, but those nearly 1,500 people must have enjoyed themselves. A nice day out for them in Eliana. Brilliant. Okay, on to the next game, and we've got it set up to be with Los Huracas, who've gone with their setup. They're missing Ronnie Johnson for this game, who is the club captain. So captain's choice will be randomised for this game. Yeah, a decent setup, sort of a Christmas tree.
Well, it's exactly the same as my setup for a start. Apart from the arrows, to be fair, I think he's got a very, very good squad there. I think it's going to be a similar sort of result here against a non-league team. I'm interested in that Dyer arrow because obviously I know what yourself players with Saeed playing there. Be interested to see how he does. I'm sure he's Kieran Dyer. He can do what he wants basically. But yeah, it's looking at that. For me, the weak link there, with no subs on his bench of playing DC, is Johnny Woodgate. Never somebody you ever get a tune out of. You could spend a lot of money out of him, and he barely averages above a 7. I'm surprised he's got no defender on his bench, but I know you're allowing a little bit of movement about if somebody gets injured, sent off, which obviously Duff could pull into that right centre half position and move Yepes or Samuel in or whatever. But again, it's another strong looking side. I've been called out with strength on my side, but I haven't seen one weaker than mine yet.
Not seeing a side weaker than yours. That's an interesting way of putting that one. Yeah, I mean, you got Wilfred Baumer who can fill in defence as well. Very, very versatile, plays well as a striker. So again, the second time Wilfred Baumer's out, will he be as successful against Askim as he was against Eliana? He's easily got a chance of being Cup's top scorer. With Ronnie Johnson missing, and Dan Hazard's plan of playing 5 or more ex-Newcastle players at a time, he's had to withdraw Franco Costanzo to put Shea Given in to allow Mario Yepes to come into the lineup as well. So it will strengthen with Costanzo when Ronnie Johnson returns. Well, that's my opinion anyway. Going into the game, he's gone with an attacking team, mixed passing, and no offside trap there, which I know probably more teams are playing offside traps than are not. But anyway, let's get this game on the road. They've got no requests for squad numbers. Alan Shearer, the number 10, and Takashi Kluivert's number 9. Controversial choice for the Newcastle ones. But I mean, I've seen many times on the game where it seems that Alan Shearer gets moved out to number 11 quite often as well. You can see there Newcastle going with their classic away kit lineup as well. So it's a nice kit, that one. Here we go with the kickoff. We're on fast commentary, underway. Not the easiest commentary to read, actually, despite the fact it looks like a decent kit. And there's been chances for Askim already. This is, I mean, Askim have had more chances, as far as I'm aware, than Eliana had all of last game. 10 minutes in, no goals. Will Dan Hazard be worried? Not now. The keeper's gone running away, and Patrick Kluivert gets the opening goal for his team. Can breathe a sigh of relief. Ronaldinho with a chance, but the goalkeeper's doing okay. 2-0 though. Kieran Dyer, that run. It's that run, Steve.
Now that right hand column there, when you're half an hour in against a non-league side, I won't be happy with them player ratings.
No, it's not looking the greatest, is it? But they could have a rampant second half as they tire the other team out. We'll have to see. 3-0 though with Cliver just before half time, and we get to the break still at that 3. Nothing hugely to report. There are no specific preferences for substitutes. I think that it's only going to be with the injuries and such like for Dan Hazard. Riquelme, pretty quiet game.
Yeah, I think he's a lot of people get really good stuff out of him, and I certainly haven't. I mean, I've got him in my team, but he's a backup to some of the others I've got. But I think for a team of the quality they've got, playing a team that the quality they're playing against, to only have 9 attempts, when you look at last game, when they had 23 and 17 on target, they've got a long way to go to keep up with that. And on paper, the team don't look massively up, if barely weaker than 76ers was. So I think they need a bit of a big second half to give them a bit of confidence going in. My God, that's mental.
They've certainly done something there. It's like almost semaphore going on with what they're going for. The backward arrow being used to really big effect there from Nyqvist. Players just running all over the place, and maybe they will be given that run around by Los Siracas in the second half. Attendance almost the same as the previous match. So again, nearly 1,500 people coming to watch a top class side, obviously a Division 2 side in the Swemp Football Alliance. Second half kicks off. And again, you got to say no goals in those opening 5 minutes of the half. I mean, Dan Hazard's got to be worrying. You see, Baumer's having an absolutely brilliant performance, and Walter Samuel gets on the goal scoring trail for the season. So pretty good there. Baumer with an assist so far. Ronaldinho with an assist. Dyer with an assist. They're doing okay. 4-0. Okay. Clivert looking a little bit tired. Could they go for a 5th goal?
I mean,
it's just gone quiet.
Yeah, it's just gone.
Oh, there's Riquelme for 5-0.
The thing is, with the view you're watching at, that little grey where you're playing, and there we are, another 6. But it shows you like the blank places in the game. Whereas like when you're watching on normal commentary, you're like, oh no, what's happened here for it's now you can understand when you're watching it in this sort of point of view. You know what I mean? It's weird.
It's it is one of the preferable things that I like to watch the game from, to be able to see more stats. I'm definitely more of a stats kind of man. But yeah, Patrick Kluivert with a hat trick there. Hat trick, Patrick. 6 shots, 5 on target. I think he's done okay there. Worn himself out. Probably picked up some kind of little injury, but he'll be okay for the next time round. They did get a few more shots in, but they did ask him to hit the target in the second half. Yeah, I'm not sure what else you can really say about that sort of game. Ball in play, almost exactly the same as the previous match as well.
No, I think personally, I think the second half, even though they only scored a couple of goals, they were far better. When you looked at the right-hand column of stats and ratings, they were far better than the one in the first half, and just didn't get the rewards that they come across in first half. So you're well happy with that one, Dan, to be fair.
Yeah, I think he'll be happy with 6. It's a confidence boost again for both teams. We head on now to Stackington Colliery, who are away in their match against Forward, who hopefully won't be going forward too much. Not like Ibrahim Said. Ibrahim Said with the run from defensive midfield up to the strikers. It's the second most controversial move in world football, but it's got to be done. Dr. Kamalo in for his experience in captain for this match, but probably going to make way for Paulo Sergio a little bit during the league, who's not on the bench this game to allow a bit more cover defensively for this. Veteran Ulf Kirsten is on the bench as well. Analyse that, Steve.
Well, one thing I did notice for a start off is Saeed's unhappy, which is not unlike him at all. Is that a contract? I should imagine early doors it's a contract.
It is a contract issue, yeah. A contract has been offered to anyone who is unhappy and would like a new contract within the league. Yeah, hopefully signing that will just make him happy again.
Dr. Kamalo, looking at his pace and what have you, he seems like a South African Jan Mulby for a start. Turn around and try and spray it ball about a little bit. But the players themselves, apart from personally, I know you're a big fan of Dr. Kamalo, but you take Kamalo out of that, there's nobody on your bench that I'd have said can play there. You could probably put a gap to right and Nicky Frankel at the centre, but I don't like a gap that far upfield. Barring the legend that is Dr. Kamalo, that's a very, very strong side. I mean, Volodenkov's he's been playing really well in the Super League, and he's obviously not got a game. Last couple of games for Odgie, but and that's worst stats I've ever seen from him ever as well. That's mad.
Early day Volodenkov. Hopefully, we'll see a bit of development over the season. But he doesn't look quite up to his usual standards. Bartes in goal, can't go wrong.
Solid, very, very, very solid. I just, as much as I love Saeed and Dies, that DMC. What? So when you were editing Selness, I take it you're the only one that's got Selness.
Selness, yeah, he is the only one, but it was nice to give him a nationality for the first time in his life. One of those few Norwegians in the game with absolutely no nationality, being turned Swedish for this. But you will see if Kamalo comes off, it's going to be looking at Agat or Selness up into the attacking midfield positions. Selness are pretty natural up that position despite being the defensive mid. But let's get on with the show. Squad numbers sorted fairly quickly with this one. Bartes taking his French number, Silvestre his United number, and some just old favourite-y kind of numbers with the other players. And Jai, unfortunately, didn't get to make 34 in real life, so he's taken the shirt there for the club. Selness at 23, Nicky Ferenko, Van Nistelrooy and Elber in there. Nicky Ferenko, the 7 shirt, Ulf Kirsten 20, Gamera at 5, not at 4. No, 4. I was right. All along. Then who have we got? Bartes at 5. Yeah, this is good. Editing my own squad and making him absolute filth. Agat Milevsky at 3. Volodenkov 11 and Dr. Kamalo 15. Everything looks pretty sorted there. Here we go. Now forward, Harish Kui, legend since CM3. Absolutely nothing great about him, but he's just one of those players who will always pop up with a goal every now and then, every few years. And of course, the commentary speed, that's the one. So, it's going to be the Dr. Kamalo show. Let's go. Yes, a red card after 1 minute for forward. Peterson sent off, and yet Stackington are doing absolutely nothing about it. Did not expect that at all. And still nil. Oh, there we go. Van Nistelrooy finally breaking the deadlock. Probably the least convincing of the starts for any club so far. But here we go. Can we make it 2-0 before half time? Not entirely sure. There we go, Van Nistelrooy again. And to forwards' credit, they're only 2-0 down and they've already had a red card. So checking out the stats, they've done nothing, as you'd expect, but they're winning all the headers.
Yeah, it's a bit of a solid, if unspectacular performance from yourselves, I've probably got to say.
Unspectacular is a superb word. I mean, look at that. First of all, tackle on Volodenkov, and he's annoyed with the referee and gone, even before anything else has taken place in the game. Yeah, I mean, they're already lacking one of their strikers. Gone more defensive, but here we go. And then, yeah, Stackington, just nothing really going on too much with them. I mean, hopefully we get some sort of marauding runs from Ibrahim Said, but to be honest, I think he looks a bit injured. Yep. And the plan is potential injuries to come off at half time. And they're going to be replaced by Selness.
And I love Gat in that role. Gat, I think he'd flourish.
Yeah, he's. Do you know something? He is not a defensive midfielder. Is Didier Gat? According to the editor, he cannot play defensive midfield. I think he possibly has one for it. If I'm right, he's best at either attacking mid or right back. I'm not entirely sure which one it is, but yeah, it's either attacking mid or in the defence. And Dr. Kamalo is going to come off as well. So
the only reason I is on the German race we did, I signed him, and I played him right at two centre halves, and he was averaging 8.39 or 8.42. It was one of them. And then Barcelona were coming in bidding like 19 million for him playing at centre half. So that's the only reason I was asking.
Yeah, he does offer some versatility. I mean, I've never played him in centre back myself, but you know, if you were stuck, he'd certainly do a job there. I'm sure. But yeah, it's the versatility of Didier Gat, but apparently not being any good in the position you'd think he'd be all right in that defensive mid. So second half, 2 subs already. Onwards. Will it make any sort of difference? Yeah, Nikiforenko moved more central for the second half and has scored.
I think he always likes to be on his own, doesn't Nikiforenko, doesn't he?
Just a lone wolf.
Yeah, just love the glory.
And just to check on the conditions, the plan is on the substitution record that if there is a striker not performing as well as the other one, then Ulf Kirsten comes on and Elbert makes way for Ulf Kirsten. Here we go.
Incoming 6-0 Kirsten hat-trick.
It's certainly the most disappointing performance from any team so far today. The subs have managed a shot between them. Now Kirsten's had his one shot. Yeah, just not really setting the world alight there, Stackington. Hopefully saving their best form for the league. Not a lot you can say about performance. No, the less said, the better.
That's another one of them never got out of neutral, let alone first gear.
Never got out of neutral. I mean, the referee got his card out more than some of the players put any effort in. Ball in play a lot longer than the other ones means absolutely nothing. For forward, they've done okay. I mean, the defence has been average, and strikers never got a look in. But for Stackington, it's certainly a must try harder. They'll be looking for Paulo Sergio in their opening league game.
I think decent result from a Gat coming on though. Nice 8 from him.
Yeah, he's done okay, hasn't he? He's performed all right, and yeah, certainly offers something going forward. But here we are, the Liverpool Concept Squad Football Club de Danglies. Well, Joseph, what a team he's put together here, and a formation involving this first sweeper of the league in Maurizio Pellegrino. Tony Warner in goal. It's certainly strikes Liverpool retro, doesn't it, Steve?
I think it's a lot better than the stuff that he were putting out with, what were it, 4 across back, 3 DMs and the rest of them up top.
5 sweepers, yeah.
It's a bit different to what I thought he was going to come out with. It looks a lot more solid. The main thing for me is he's got that many DMs. He don't know what to do with them. Why is Luis Garcia sat on the bench You Salif Diao, of all people.
The more advanced midfielder.
Wait and see. I mean, I've got a lot of time for Wood, and I think he's an absolute gem of a lad. But this formation is far better than he was going to play. And I think he's got far better players that he could be playing it. Is that the way to put it? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think you know, in terms of looking at the squad depth, I mean, Dirk Kuyt is available. Yeah, Cinema Pongo, Bruno Cheru could offer something. He's got a bit of stamina on this game. He doesn't always have any sort of stamina, does he? But yeah, he'll do a job. Dudek left as the second choice goalkeeper, but taking a look at the substitutes bench, there is no goalkeeper on there. So
he's not starting. He's got to be doing this for a laugh. If you watch this back, Woody, you've got to be doing this for a laugh, not just. Oh my God! Honestly,
just noticed, of course, there was the it did just surprise me that there were no runs on those wing. Yeah, they are wing backs, aren't they? Yeah, on his wing backs, just making sure that they're on there. We are ready to go. Tony Warner, will he be able to keep them out? Absolutely no squad preference on these ones from Wooder.
I think he's always an all right lower league keeper, to be fair.
Yeah.
But we're not lower league here. We've got 24 totals. We've got 24 max. We've got 24 Vieiras and Warner. So I don't know where he's going with it. But
I'm not even sure he's the only Tony Warner. There may well be another Tony Warner in the league. And there certainly was a request of a second if there isn't one.
I'll pull me out. I'll just retire from it. If there's two Tony Warners in this league, I'll go on holiday, play current matches, just go. My God.
Yes, I mean there's no Andy Gorhams when he would be a good candidate for two, but no, Tony Warner. Dangley's kicking off, speed up to fast. Lund's colour scheme, not the easiest on the eye, is it? It's certainly very bright. It must be putting off the Dangley's team because it's a red card for TT Camera, and Dangley's putting himself in a bit of trouble. All at 6s and 7s there so far. Milan Barros goes and fills in the striker role. He's not going to be happy with that. A straight red card early on.
Probably just stood up top with his bloody shorts around his ankle, dangling it about. He had no choice.
He's 1-0 to Lund.
Oh my God.
1-0 from Berglund.
Oh God.
Oh dear.
That's so new.
We are certainly keeping the old straight face, neutral commentary stance here. And at half time, we're going into the game where, yes, I mean, Tony Warner has an 8. I mean, what more can be said? He's the one standout performer in this
the second one got me crap.
Liverpool team who look the non-league side. Oh. Absolutely wonderful. TT Camera sent off kicking Johan Jensen. Wonderful. It's certainly not what was expected in any way, but yeah.
This one we were playing our rewrite history stream, and 5 people Duggan, and it crashed, and we all started taking mick, and I went me big time. This is worse. Then it crashed into 5 for beating Duggan. It beat it again when it reloaded up. But my God. Oh, I've been just to see where his second half goes.
I mean, Salif Diao and Milan Barros have had double figure passing completed, and nobody else has. Kvarma 2 out of 7. This is going to be fun. Second half. can they get back into the game? The answer so far seems like a no. And there's no substitutes planned.
I'm just going to put a tweet out after this. Obviously, it's coming back recorded. I'm just going to put a tweet out that he won't know about, and then he'll realise when he watches it back. My God.
There is absolutely nothing going for them. Can they get a late goal? It's 2-0. It is 2-0. And, well, what more can be said?
I apologise so much for ruining the big night, but after all crap he's been giving me, honestly, this is brilliant.
Dan Berglund with 2 goals. His second and third career goals against a team, well, I mean, they managed 2 goals and Dangley's managed 2 shots on target and didn't test the goalkeeper. The ball, more football, just played in the Dangley's defensive zone.
Have a look at my stats again, please.
What was that?
Have a look at my
Back into the match stats. Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, I mean, they've definitely won on throw-ins and free kicks, but and putting a few tackles, and that important stat there of 1-0 was only on red cards. A 2-0 defeat to Lunds, which, I mean, should we all be worried about Lunds in the next round? Should we be worried? I mean, the 2,000 people have witnessed the shock of the season. I'll put it there, the shock of the season. And we're on day 1. Well, this is our final game, and this is our big one that we've been looking forward to. The first meeting of 2 teams in the from the Swemp Football Alliance, and we start off with taking a look at your team then, Steve. All set up as you wanted it to be. Talk us through your idea.
I played something completely different, if I'm honest, before. And my first game against 76 is when they give me a bit of a hiding, so I changed it up to this. I obviously follow Mr. CM Rocks quite regularly, and he's got a couple of tactics that he's using a lot with a lot of arrows. And then, so I went with this, and I won league pretty convincingly. So I thought, right, let's go for it. I think putting players in positions with the ball. Tomasi, probably never known as a right wing back, but after everything he's done for me in Super League, I just could not have him in the team some way, shape or form. Every bit of testing, Maldini's been pants. So West Nesta kind of arrow. I was hoping for like a bit of an Italian, spine at the back,
Yeah.
But we've got Maleski on bench that can cover either of them 3 because he's either footed, and then cover Finn and Vieira. If my right wing back were to get an injury, I prefer it to be Bowyer. And then obviously, but he can then cover Kjell Veron probably. If Kjell got injured, Veron in Kjell and Bowyer there.
Yeah, and Nikiforenko, one of his strongest positions is centre midfield as well. So you got, some really good options throughout the bench as well as in your first team. Just in some testing was considering the use of Gianluca Pagliuca, but notice you've put him into your reserve goalkeeper down in there. And no place for Radebe today by the look of it, to drop him from your team so named after him.
Hard, isn't it? Hard. But yeah, he probably should find a place. I'll probably find a place for him every week here from here on in. But you want to try and get off to a good start when you're up against other managers. It'd have been starting and Dede had been starting. Dede's probably the roughest of them. Not getting a game, but Finnan's just like Steve Finnan always. His stats when I saw his last one were pretty terrible. I don't know what mine's looking like. He's looking a bit more like it, but
he's turned out okay.
We'll see. Obviously, Dede is there probably for the next game if he doesn't have a reasonable game. But yeah, we've got a strong side. I think if I remember rightly, I was the first person to send my squad back in, so before any concept squads were coming out.
The very first.
And I've been called out for it since, but then I thought I just couldn't be bothered changing it. Too much on me worrying about other stuff. So we'll see. I've always said from the start, as you'll know more than most, I'm on the riding it now. If I win everything, oh well, you're expected. If I don't win everything, oh, I can't believe you've done that one. But I'm here for a bit of fun out of either way. But
absolutely, and
best of luck to Big Kid 4. Interested to see where he's going with his tactic as well.
With his Trumpton Vice squad, yeah, just the literal translation of Toe Madeira turned out to be all wood. All wood. Yeah, just in my fantastic attempts to try and pronounce things a bit better. That's where I got up to with my translations as well. So you've just requested one specific squad number of Harry Kuehl for reasons we won't broadcast on there, of course, but he's number 50. And the rest of your team happy with those?
Yeah, well, yeah,
there we are.
Solid.
Like you say, you're not bothered about it really. Not like some people like me. Here we go then. So you are up there.
Notice is like blank me head. It's like I can't. You've got subkeeper. Subkeeper's got the 13. I know like mine not there, but picking in on numbers. 13 keeper, isn't it? It's done. But
13 subkeeper. Was that Mark Beanie's number, or was he number 15 at one point? I think Mark Beanie was number 15 for Leeds back in the day. There we are. So Trumpton Vice squad picking a strong team. Yeah, it's with their wide players further forward than most.
Yeah, well, I'm saying I'm there. I'm being a bit naive, really, for what I'm seeing. I even said to him when he put his team out that it's something I played in Super League. I actually got my first home win of the season against Dragons playing that in Super League. He's strong, and he's got very strong players in right positions. Robin against an AI, but when you can't have player instructions, I don't think his age will come into it as much as it has done in Super League. But you look at the rest of that side, I think his three centre defenders are stronger than mine, without a shadow of a doubt.
There is some strength there, yeah, and it's based, as you can see, that's sort of based around a triangle there and a triangle there. So they're heading forward against you. See what can happen. Yeah, and incidentally, 3 players in the lineups that are playing for both teams. So watching out for Nesta, Vieira, and Veron playing for 2 teams at the same time. Yeah, and the Trumpton team have recommended that their substitutes are made at 45 and 60 minutes based on potential injuries and certain conditions. So look out for those ones. Now, if we look into this, yeah, Isaac Okoronkwo, if they make it through and he plays and picks up a yellow card, he will miss the next round. He's the only player so far with a potential ban ahead. And they've not recommended any specific squad numbers, so they head into it like that.
Well, why do they automatically assume like keeper number 12? I don't know. I don't get it.
It must be. I wonder if it's Swedish traditions on this one. It could be because the Premier League they always go for a 13 as a subkeeper, but in quite a few other countries abroad they put number 12 as the other goalkeeper. So I'm going to watch from the view of the player ratings this time around because obviously 2 teams up against each other. So having a quick look at this. And of course your musical pun stadium there as well. So clearly showing a bit of musical knowledge with your teams. Okay, and here we go. It's a tremendously quiet start. There's a Chances Sigalko is at the bottom of the post with his shot there. It seems to be a bit more Trumpton than it is Radebe at the moment.
A bit more.
Certainly much more going their way. But a chance, and there he is, Harry Kuehl, number 50, scoring his opening goal for you.
I apologise for making it a night unprofessional, but
you're still playing.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt.
It's Trumpton still coming forward, but there are chances at both ends at the moment. And that one goal at 40 minutes separating the two teams, Harry Kewell, and coming into half time, still.
The main thing here is I never, if I'm without being disrespectful, I never overly noticed Trumpton. I've done 3 saves of the beater, and I never really overly noticed Trumpton, and I'm surprised I didn't because of the strength of the side.
It is a strong team. I mean, obviously, the potential for that is the players would have easily been poached by some other clubs as well. Might have been filling in with some more domestic players, so that could be a reason. They haven't hit the target yet. I think they hit the post early on with Sigalko, but other than that, 3 shots on target and 3 shots off target. That's clearly the difference is the shooting at the moment. Looking in the action zones, you've taken more possession and a lot of the game played around the middle of the pitch, but your defence have had more work to do than the other team, despite being 1-0 up. Just a quick look at the goal. It was a header from Harry Kewell, unless he's got his feet above Frey, from Cannavaro's ball in.
Well, there we go. I mean, to be fair, he got asked on Super League on Sunday because he scored with him on Sunday in Super League, did Kewell. And he got asked, but he scored quite a few goals for Leeds with his head. He's. It pains me to say, but he's doing. But then again, there's a lot of improvement in that performance. Apart from Cannavaro, there's a hell of a lot of improvement there.
Yeah, Cannavaro's stood out there, hasn't he, so far as the player defensively and attacking. Taking a look into this team, there may be a couple of potential injuries, or it's just low stamina of players, just to check those ones who are a little bit down. They may well have just been given a bit of the runaround in the first half, I think. Yep. So, but looking into it, a goalkeeper with 50% or worse shot saves. I mean, he's made 2 saves out of 3, so that's fine. We can head on with the second half.
One thing I've just noticed is the prior one and this one.
Nesta's
6s everywhere for Nesta's, and another myth, but you get him because he's
Nesta. He is Nesta. So, that's an interesting one down the side there, isn't it? So having a look at this then, we've got your team so far. Condition wise, that's where you are. You've said for me to use judgment on this, but obviously you're here, so you can make your subs.
Yeah, I will. I wouldn't normally do, and I won't do. I'm going to shift Crespo to. I'm going to move players about here.
If people recommend tactical changes, that is fine as well.
Can I have Crespo for Vieira and swap Ronaldinho and Kewell?
There is something a bit dodgy around there. Chris Vieira and swap Ronaldinho and Kewell. There we are. And is that all you want to do?
I think the rest of them are doing all right at the minute.
That's okay. We'll have a look into Trumpton. I mean, we've got 2 players who are candidates there. 3. Anyone under 83% there for things, or so we will go for the 3 subs if the formation fits it. To use judgment, Sigalko coming off for Thierry Henry. Dennis Bergkamp, that can be with Rosicki and Robin. Looking into this team here, the most possible substitution there to do things would be to shift Agahauer over to one side, but really within things here, it's much more of a defensive lineup going on, isn't it?
What do you do there, isn't it? I mean, for me, obviously it's not my team. It's hard to say when you've got so many defensive options.
It probably makes more sense to, if Robin's played all right, he's on a 6. Yeah, I think there's not anything that can be done really that would strengthen the team by taking Robin off.
No, I'd have said leave it at the 2. I mean,
I think it has to be done. It does say, to use a bit of judgment on things, and I think with no potential injuries, and that's where we are. That there's nothing can be done. So it will be that is the best that it can be. Just 2 attacking changes in the hope of getting a goal back.
Yeah, any other changes could weaken it, wouldn't it? So I think that's the.
Yeah. So back on with player stats. 3-0, and Patrick Vieira scores past a team containing Patrick Vieira, and Veron has scored past a team with Veron. So 3-0.
It's got a lot of goals. It's got a lot of goals in the beta version for me as Vieira for some stupid reason. I don't know why.
Into the last 5 minutes of our final game today, and it looks like a comfortable win for Radebe. Yes, it's 3-0 and a Veron man of the match performance in restricting Trumpton to no shots on target.
Well, there must be a lot of long shots on their instructions there. To be fair, well, there's no player instructions. Sorry, that's me going mad. But yeah, pretty happy with that. Obviously, it means not going into the league, but you're going against one of the stronger teams in the league and getting a result, regardless of whether it's the league or not. Yeah, it's fair enough. I'm happy with that, and I'm confident enough to say, on the back of that, looking at the strength of that team, I'll be there or thereabouts end of the season.
Yeah, it seems like you got a good, strong squad there. And yep, you might take a bit of media criticism for having too strong a squad. But is there such a thing as having too strong a squad? You're out there to enjoy yourself, but also go towards victories. Looking at your team, nobody had more than 1 shot on target. So it's you certainly spread the shots around. And then, yep, Cannavaro and Finnan with the assists on the goals, and restricting Robin to 1 shot, Veron to 2, and Rosicki to 1, and none of them hit the target. Sebastian Frey, he did drop down to just under 50% towards the very end of the game, but it wasn't a plan at 60 minutes. He hadn't done so to come off the pitch.
Maybe a bit higher if he hadn't got that far. Probably, I might have scraped to 1-0, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe, but it's the game what it is, isn't it? That's what it does.
It can certainly cause a bit of pain at times. Well, we look into that game there, and an 8-2 shows that some of the non-league teams have got some goals in them. And Sandro Sundström, you're not going to get much better than that. A 1 out of 10 for conceding 8 out of 11 shots. Fantastic news there. A goalkeeper receiving a 1. That's my entertainment for the night there. You can forget all these other results, the 5-0, the 6-0. Clean sheets in every game for one of the teams, just unfortunately not Dangley's in their game. Trumpton going out to Radebe, and an 8-2 win. Okay, so let's press the save on there. Right, well, thank you very much, Steve, for a wonderful piece of commentary there. You may well be back during this season. I know you're certainly one of the big people promoting this league, and it's been good to get it started. Remember, we've got Division 1 kicking off on Friday night, and Division 2's league fixtures beginning on Saturday. So teams have until 8 o'clock on those evenings to get their teams in. What's your overall view on the first day then, Steve?
I'm always happy with beating another team who've got a very strong side. I think there's a big wins for 76ers. Lost Urakis, and absolutely embarrassing for Danglies. They're going to have a big job on their hands. Not finished bottom of the pile and not getting sacked 24 times and adding manager and going back in. But plenty of improvement there. I've never seen a non-league team actually get a clean sheet against a league side in any league or any cup or anything. Bit of work to do on that, but I'm dwelling a bit too much on that. I'm happy enough beating another manager 3-0. And yeah, we go at it at the weekend.
The first one to beat a team in the league with a team in the league. Brilliant for you. Next round is on Wednesday the 10th. The first league game's on the Sunday before, and the league game follows on the Sunday afterwards. So it's certainly, in fact, they're Saturday games. So yeah, it might be a blessing for Danglies to avoid having a cup game in between two important league games for them. Okay, so that's the end of the first show. We'll see you again on Friday night for the Division 1s. Thank you very much.